Well, new tonight at 10, the fate of two downtown Sioux City buildings, which were set to be demolished, remains unclear tonight.
But if the buildings need to be torn down, city leaders have now approved a contract to do that work. Work actually began last week to tear down 615 Douglas Street and 625 Douglas Street. But shortly after, the city halted work to see if the two buildings could be preserved. They say if they can't be saved, the city council approved a contract with Hebert Construction for almost $750,000 to demolish the buildings. That move came 3 weeks after the city engineer and city manager signed a finding of necessity, allowing the city manager to enter into contracts for emergencies without holding a public hearing.
I wanted to act on that building. I'm not going to apologize. The roof was falling in, the air conditioner was coming down through, the building was going to go down. And so they have the right to issue an emergency order. They did, but we still had to approve the contract because we executed the contract.
Last week, after a portion of the former Sioux City Auditorium building at 625 Douglas was already torn down, a group of developers paid to delay the demolition. The city gave developers 2 weeks to determine if the buildings could be salvaged.
Very serious about wanting to do something, and if they can't save it, I don't know who would want to. And whether they can save the front of 625 remains to be seen.
If the developers aren't able to come back with a salvage plan, the city will continue the demolition of both buildings.